Commissioner Coleman,
Here.
Commissioner Calvo,
For the last time present.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Williams,
Here.
Board Chair Green.
Here, last time present. We have a quorum tonight. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Tonight, posting of the colors is presented by Overton High School Color Guards.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The question is now on the approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments?
Yes, I'd like to add a resolution to items for action, a resolution to expand student and family supports.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I would like to add two items, please. The first one is to suspend policy 0016, and we'll talk about it when we get to that part. And also to adopt the timeline for the superintendent evaluation.
Thank you. Superintendent?
I'd like to request an amendment to the agenda if we can remove item 11.2, the contract renewal or the contract approval for language line solutions. It needs further legal review. That's 11.2, contract approval for language line solutions. And add item 12.5, MOU for Literacy Mid-South.
Literacy Mid-South. 12.3. Thank you. We are now on to, well, is there a motion for the approval of the agenda and a second? Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Love, second by Commissioner McKissick. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
I think we had one more item. Did you have one more? Did you have your item? The resolution?
Something else that needs to be added?
We do.
Resolution for,
For,
I'm adding it.
no, is it? Okay. We had one more item.
Yes, ma'am.
My apologies, I thought this one had been mentioned. A resolution adopting the More for Memphis strategic plan as a guide for public-private cooperation and investments to improve economic mobility for children and families in Memphis and Shelby County.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The agenda is approved. We're now on to public comment. In accordance with the state statute, the board shall reserve a period for public comments during business and special call meetings. Only those members of the public who have signed up will be allowed to speak tonight. The sign-up sheet was made available 30 minutes prior to the meeting. Speakers, please state your name, organization He or she is represented, if any, subject of your comments before you are permitted to proceed. Please offer objective comments about school operations and programs. Please do not use names of personnel or names of persons connected with the school system when you're lodging your complaints. Please, you will not be able to engage in gossip, make defamatory comments, or use abusive language. The chairwoman shall have the authority to terminate the remarks of any individual who is disrupted or does not adhere to the board rules. Your time will be projected on the screen to your right and directly behind the board. We have 11 speakers tonight. You will have 2.5 minutes each. Please come in the order that I call your name. Anthony Coleman, Samantha Hunt, Bishop Charles Lampkin, hopefully we'll get this right, Vivian Tucker Nelson, Vernita Doggett, and Liz Marable. Please come in that order.
Good afternoon, board members. I am Anthony Coleman.
Okay. Okay, try it. Switch.
Good evening, board members. Anthony Coleman, 270 Dubois Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109, Memphis-Shelby County School Educator. To all the members of the school board, I stand before you as a 28-year veteran educator who has been mishandled. Mishandled in the sense that on August the 16th, I was to receive my previous pay and then my pay from my new pay scale. After numerous attempts to get an answer, I was told that my salary was prorated. However, I was assigned to Willow Oaks Elementary School as my base school, in which I attended the in-service the entire week of July 29th. Mishandled in the fact that I was returned to a salary that I received in 2013 because I'm not being compensated for my central office experience. However, my experience has afforded me to coach teachers to improve instruction in the classroom, where I have also included small groups in numerous of the schools, and several of you have seen me in action. Mishandled because I was sent an offer letter with one salary, and the next week it was rescinded because the previous offer was not on the teacher's pay scale. And when I asked the question about the rescinded offer, I was told that they use an algorithm that has yet to be explained. I have been mishandled because I should not have to wait an additional 2 weeks to receive compensation that is due to me, because compensation is having to do research on my years of experience. And remember, I just said 28 years. I have been mishandled because the one thing that I've been committed to has been dimmed due to stress and anxiety. So I come to you publicly because I sent numerous emails and text messages to the board members and the superintendent, and I only received a response from one individual on the school board. Now I'm asking you to handle it, because when I get home, I cannot enjoy the balance of my day with my family, because I wonder when is my next, and it doesn't appear that it's coming anytime soon. Thank you.
Greetings, Memphis-Shelby County School Board of Education. I am Samantha Hunt, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am a teacher with Memphis-Shelby County Schools. So I'm here tonight to reference the most recent hiring events over the summertime, two for local and returning candidates, and one for out-of-state candidates. And to start my report tonight, I will preface a national statistic that simply states there is a ratio between teaching and learning. Now, ideally, out-of-state candidates entered by way of education itself, meaning academic degrees, in a specific content area, English, math, humanities, or social sciences. Others may have entered by way of alternative route, choosing a permit. No matter the route, each candidate had to undergo a verification process to validate their teaching credentials for the state of Tennessee. I personally attended both hiring events, and I was offered a position that's normal for the past 4 years that I've been working with the district. I was offered a position, I accepted the position. Days later, I received a random phone call stating that I should wait before I reported to the listed date, July 29th, to my assignment, as I had been considered ineligible for employment. It startled me because I have a residency with the district. I also hold a Bachelor of Science degree in a content area in-state from the University of Tennessee. I have recently, since then, attained a specialty degree in teaching education, Master's of Arts degree in teaching education with a specialty in elementary education. And it didn't seem normal, as Mscs has already formally inducted me here at the Board of Education as a teacher. Instead of getting nervous about crime, the possibilities of crime, or payroll schemes, I consider research, academic research. I'm grounded in it, the type of research that speaks to our practices, our performance, and student outcomes. I just came to say that we should not minimize academics and its precedents. We don't minimize it at the state level, as there are laws, rights, and responsibilities embedded in our conferred degrees. It's also the peak of subject matter expertise. It's the reasoning during curriculum and interpretation for every subject. And it's the excellence that shows up when we execute lessons to reach a variety of learner needs. We can't minimize academic excellence at the hiring level. Thank you.
Good evening. Charles Lampkin, 3711 Austin P. Highway. First, I'm standing to say to the outgoing board members, it has been my pleasure, through our challenges and our successes, to have had the opportunity to work with you. I look forward to working with you, even in whatever endeavors that you pursue after having had served on this school board. I think that we can have some additional outcomes for students and whatever you do going forward. But to those that are going to be remaining, please be advised. I sit on this group or on this panel called Board Watch. We are, and you all have been made aware of that back in January and then in April, we are a parent advocacy group. We sit, we watch, we analyze, we take data, we watch job performances, and we look very carefully at how you vote on literacy issues, how you spend the monies that's allocated for this district, and what you say that you're going to do and how you say that you're going to do it. So those that remain, please know that the watchful eye of the community at large, stakeholders, parents, and those of us that are just watching are still watching. And then those that are coming please be put on notice that we are watching. Please, please, please remain accountable. Please, please do what you say that you're going to do. And please, please, please answer your phones, answer your emails, because we are watching and we will hold you to the highest test of scrutiny. I promise you. Have a blessed one. Thank you. We look forward to serving with you going forward.
To the Memphis City School Board, to all of you, good afternoon. My name is Vivian Tucker Nelson. I reside at 3295 Castleman Street, which I have been there for 30 years. This is right across the street from Wooddale High School. On August the 21st, last Wednesday, there was a chaotic, very chaotic brawl and vandalism that happened on my property. It was so chaotic that the whole school pretty much was on my yard. I have never in my entirety of the 30 years that I've been there seen such among those students. I am so devastated, not only with those, the little ones who are coming up behind them, but with the way that the matters was controlled. After speaking with the principal, security, and the senior counsel here, I found out that the school has limited authority to control the students over there. I am seeking your help on doing such with this group of people. My people, our children. They need our help and some control. I have did my part. I have sought the Mount Moriah precinct and doing a patrol, which has not happened since that has happened. I will definitely do a follow-up. But in the meantime, we need some control over there where they're able to do far beyond what the security are allowed to do there. They deserve our help. They deserve us as parents. They deserve us as teachers to help them get through this. We can do it. And I am here to ask for your help in getting the control and the patrol that they need to get home, to disband. This used to happen about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Why it stopped, I don't know. But we definitely don't want it to end up in the next situation that bound to happen. Please help. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, board members. Vanita Doggett, 4678 Orange Tulip Drive. I appear before you tonight to thank our outgoing board members for your service. I know that the last 4 years for some of you, Chair Green, Board Member Woods, has not been easy. You've gone through a global pandemic. You have done superintendent leadership changes and often tense public engagement. But yet you stood here, you weathered the storm in so many different ways. You led with grace. You led with compassion. You led with actually being a leader in ways that I don't know that I could have always shown up, and so for that I thank you. I think that you all have done a tremendous job, and you should be commended on your legacy and just showing up for community, our parents and our educators in the way that you have. To our appointed board members, thank you. I don't know that y'all knew what you signed up for when you signed up and raised your hand, but appreciate your efforts. Appreciate everything you've done to try and make this district just a little bit better for those who are left behind. I know that it's not easy. I've served as staff for elected bodies, this own very board, Board Member Woods, Board Member Love, because we were there in the trenches together. But you all have done so in a way that is admirable. You should hold your heads high because you have done a tremendous job with what you were given over the last 4 years. So I wanted to thank you again for your service. We really do appreciate you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Liz Marable. I'm the president of the United Education Association, 6263 Poplar, Memphis 38119. The United Education Association has initiated the collaborative conferencing process for educators. The Professional Educators Collaborative Conference Act, known better as PECA, is how local boards of education and their professional employees are empowered by law to meet and collaboratively discuss and agree to matters of salaries, working conditions, benefits, and other issues important to educators and students. The PECA law requires us to obtain 15% of eligible employee signatures on a petition. Once we've obtained those, we will submit the signatures to the board. This petition will request that a vote be held for all eligible staff, asking whether they want to have collaborative conferencing. UEA, the United Education Association, is currently gathering signatures, and we know that educators are excited to continue to collaborate with the district. Memphis-Shelby County Schools works best when we work together, and educators have a voice. We look forward to working with you to ensure a smooth PECA process. Now, on a lighter note, from our membership, we would like to sincerely thank each outgoing board member for your continuous work for our children, for our employees, and for our communities in this district. And I hope that everyone in the room will stand up and give you a celebration, as I will.
Kevin get love some clinics. Our last names: Sarah Carpenter, Wanda Albertson, Kamaya Traylor, Jaden Kyles, and Jennifer Elliott.
Good evening. Sarah Carpenter, 2130 Curry Avenue. I wrestled with this for a whole week, maybe a week and a half. First, I'm going to thank the outgoing. You can't hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Now?
we're okay.
I want to thank the outgoing board members, Mauricio, Frank, Alia. I think I called on Alia the most, y'all, because she was closest to my neighborhood. And in just 4 weeks' time, she helped 10 homeless families. And this is real. And I appreciate you for that. Can't let my minutes run up. August the 20th, I was at the board meeting, and I was leaving. Commissioner McKesky, I tried to call you. I text you today, too. I was leaving, and a board member was going in the bathroom or wherever, and I said, won't you just be quiet sometime? I might have been wrong for that, but what that person said to me was unacceptable. And I'm not going to stand for it. You don't have to like me, but you got to respect me because I'm going to respect you. I've been coming in this room for 30 plus years, and there's a lot of things that I wanted to say, but I know I couldn't say. First of all, because my grandchildren were watching, the media watching, and I don't want my grandchildren to know I'm acting like that sometimes. I'm serious, y'all. I work and do anything y'all need me to do. I appreciate all of you all, but I will not be disrespecting what was said to me. I don't know if it was ethical or not with the board. That's something we as parents need to find out also. But if it happened again, it's not going to be as pretty as it was in that hall on August the 20th. That's all I got to say. I'm coming back too. My time not up. I'm coming back. I'm coming back because it's some things that I feel like it's people sitting on this board that shouldn't be. You know, I mean, I can't call names, and I'm trying my best. Y'all know I say what I got to say. I'm trying not to call names, but it's some people that's working in places that I feel like a conflict of interest being on this board of education. That's just my thought, but I got to do some more research. I haven't did my research. Maybe I should have did it before I said it, but I'm going to do my research. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wanda K. Albertson. On behalf of the outgoing board members and the new ones that will come in, on behalf of the Micah Foundation, Micah Equity, Education Equity, I just want to say thank you. First and foremost, thank you all. Great job. I wanted everyone to know I'm a school bus driver, and I want to piggyback on some of the things that were said about our darling, our precious cargo. I've been a driver for 31 years. 31 years. And behind me is my school bus drivers and bus assistants that have served at least over 50 years combined. I would like to address some of our issues. I know I don't have a lot of time left, but I want to address some of the problems that we're having on our school board, our yellow school bus. We are the first one to see your kids at 5 o'clock, 5:05, 5:15 in the morning, 5:15, 5:30 in the PM. What we go through, we are professional. First and foremost, we are professionals, but we can't do it without the school board. Some of the schools that we travel to, we have had so many problems with the school kids, and I know it starts from the home, but our kids are out of control. Not all of them, but some of them. District 3, there's a problem. Ms. Love, there's a problem. There's a problem. And if we have to constantly come back every month to address these problems, enough said. We need your help. Dr. Fegan, we need your help. School board, we need your help. When you all needed our help, we was there for you. If we have to come back month after month so our voices can be heard, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stand for something, and we're not gonna fall for anything. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Kamaya Traylor, and I am before you to speak about the organization Peer Power Foundation, and just speak about why it should continue to be a part of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. So I actually had the privilege of pioneering Peer Power Foundation when I was in high school over 20 years ago, and the organization is still doing good work in the community. So while I was a teenager in the program, it actually provided a safe environment for me after school, helped me with ACT prep, as well as gave me a job to help other peers with tutoring. It helped me foster relationships, and from that I graduated number 8 out of 225 kids from East High School. And I also went on to graduate from University of Memphis cum laude. So Peer Power Foundation has and will always have a place in my heart. I have a son, he's a senior now, and last summer he joined Peer Power Organization, and he had the opportunity to actually experience what I experienced as well as my daughter. And this summer he actually got the opportunity to be paid while he was learning, so that was a plus as well. And I can definitely say that from the first day that I picked him up, that he had nothing but great things to say. He's fostering relationships, meeting leaders in the community. They took a trip to Kentucky. Peer Power Foundation needs to continue to be a part of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. So what I want you to take from this is it's definitely an organization that needs to stay and to help our kids foster relationships and just basically have a lifetime of success. And you are about to hear from my son. So thank you for your time, and y'all have a good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jaden Kyles. I'm the son she was talking about. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today, and I am honored to share my journey with Peer Power, an organization that has had a profound impact on my life over the past 2 years. In 2023, I joined Peer Power as a camper, eager to learn and grow. This year, I had the privilege of stepping up as a high school team lead. These experiences have been nothing short of transformative. Peer Power has not only helped me become a better leader, whether by leading sessions or managing the classroom, but it has also sharpened my focus on the ACT through comprehensive tutoring and strategic preparation. Even as a high school team lead, Peer Power continued to support my ACT preparation, showing their commitment to every student's success no matter their role, but the impact of Peer Power extends far beyond academics. Through workshops, group activities, and field trips, I've gained invaluable knowledge and skills while also building a strong sense of community and family with fellow campers, co-workers, success coaches, and program directors. Peer Power is truly a lifeline for this community. It opens doors for kids who may feel lost or uncertain about their future, offering not only ACT preparation, but also workforce development. For those who don't see college in their future, Peer Power equips them with life skills, certifications, and job placement support. This ensures that our youth, especially our African American youth, have the tools and opportunities they need to succeed, whether they're pursuing higher education or entering the workforce. Peer Power is a place for everyone, and I'm incredibly grateful to be a part of this incredible organization. It has changed me, helped me grow, and given me a sense of purpose. I look forward to continue my journey with Peer Power and contributing to its mission of empowering our youth, and that's why Peer Power should stay around. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Elliott. I'm a school bus driver. I've been a school bus driver for 11 years. I come before you all because we need you all's help. Me personally, and I think I speak not just for myself, but also the other school bus drivers and monitors, the GPS that we got this year starting on the 5th, that could have been saved.
Excuse me, can you speak a little bit closer to the mic so we can hear you, please? Thank you.
Me personally, and I think I speak not only for myself, but also the other bus drivers and monitors, the GPS that started on the 5th of this year, we could have saved that. We need air on the buses, the 84 packs, the air doesn't work too well. If the air is cool when it's just myself or the monitor, but once the kids are on the bus, you can't feel the air. The students have to let the windows down. We have check engine lights and stop engine lights that come on. We need better radios when we get to eat. Certain locations, certain schools, the radios go out. We need air on the buses. We need more monitors on the special needs side and the gen ed side. I'm supposed to get the children to and from school safely, but if I'm distracted by what the children are doing on the buses, how can I do that? We need assistance, and I don't mind saying that I need help. I've been driving for 11 years, but sometimes you do need help. And if the students are up on the bus cutting up, how can I drive? I'm supposed to be paying attention to the road. We need more monitors on the gen ed and sped side. It's a lot more, but I know my time is limited. We need some help. The air is horrible. It is horrible on these buses. You only have the air conditioning in the front and the back of the 84 packs. The middle, nothing. So we have to let the windows down. We're short on buses. This school year, we've only been in four weeks now, and some have had to use other people's buses. The write-ups that are being turned in, I'm already having write-ups, and I've made copies for myself because some schools do help you. and back the bus drivers, but we need more help. The discipline, we gotta have order. If we don't have order, these children hang upside down by their toenails on these buses. We gotta have order, and we need some help. We need more monitors on the gen ed and the sped side. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I do want to say thank you to our school bus drivers, just for your work. And so we appreciate you, especially hearing the wealth of experience, 50 years in anything. I'm trying to figure out how much of, what do I have 50 of? But in terms of the concerns that you're lifting, we will meet with our vendor and address those issues. So I appreciate you bringing it to the board this evening and letting us know what you're seeing, the types of experiences that you're having, those school-related issues in terms of student behavior. We'll be sure to work with our principals and our school leaders in that regard, and we will give some consideration and take a review and a look at, I think I hear a request for monitors to be on more buses, so we'll take a review of that as well. So we appreciate you bringing the concerns this evening.
The question is now on the approval of the minutes for the following meetings. 6.1, approval of the minutes of the July 23rd, 2024 work session. 6.2, approval of the minutes of the July 30th, 2024 business meeting. Are there any corrections? There being no corrections, I have a motion by Commissioner Love and a second by Frank Johnson. Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Woods.
Aye.
Commissioner Love.
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Green.
Aye.
We have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The minutes are approved.
Servant, leader, advocate, that's my mama. Hard work, that's my mama. Hard work, that's my mama. Mom, you've spoken up, you've shown up, you've done the job. Now it's time to come home. I am so excited about this final chapter of serving on the Memphis-Shelby County Schools Board for these past 5 years. Why? Because your phone never stops ringing. I don't know how you sleep at night because your phone never stops ringing. I'm excited about what's next for you. The phrase says, many are called, but few were chosen. You were chosen a long time ago. So even though this is the end of this journey, I know you have some other things planned, and I'm excited to go along for the ride. But can we at least have family dinner, go on a few shopping trips, have some girl time? Because you deserve it. Because you've done a lot over these past 5 years, and I'm so proud of you. And don't forget, you're my mama, and I'm so proud to call you that. Hats off.
Hey, Poo Poo. Thank you for being school board commissioner, and I'm proud to call you Grandma. You're the best person in the world. Congrats.
Hey, Mom. Jason and I are very proud of you for the service that you've done, the dedication as a school board commissioner and the board chair. We are just super proud of just watching you work so hard for District 2. The outreach, the reading programs that you brought, you have done an amazing job. We couldn't be more proud. So from Jace, myself, Mika, and Zay, we love you.
Thank you for having us today. We're here just to give Board Commissioner Woods a nice farewell tour, just with my colleagues here. And my name is Rashawn Jenkins, Executive Services Advisor. And I just want to thank Commissioner Woods for allowing me to be part of his team and working along, handling his affairs and making sure that his district runs smooth.
Commissioner Woods, Renardo Bostic here. Once again, thank you for all you've done for the community, the stakeholders, the city of Memphis, 901. We love you. Thank you for your service. Go out with us, bang. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Commissioner Woods, coming from Roger Jones, principal at Hope Academy. Thank you for all the wonderful work you've done for the community and for all stakeholders. Continue to stay blessed. Remember, I always represent Memphis and Shelby County Schools.
Commissioner Woods, Trent Watson here, principal at Westwood High School. Brother, we just want to say thank you. We appreciate all that you do, all that you've done. We know that this is just the beginning. You got so much more ahead of you. And brother, don't forget us, and we'll always got a space for you to come back.
Commissioner Woods, Donnie Gladney here with the Budget and Fiscal Planning Office. Just want to say congratulations on a job well done. We truly appreciate the work that you poured into this district. We know that many more endeavors will come your way, and we really just want to share our thanks for the job that you've done with MSCS. Thank you.
Commissioner Woods, Dr. Suggs from G.W. Carver. On the behalf of the G.W. Carver family, sir, we want to just thank you for your service, your time, and your commitment, and we wish you the best.
Hey, thank you so much for all the work that you do. I appreciate it a lot. I know of all the hours that you put in at night and in the mornings, that you're always working super hard, and all the dedication that you do. It's really important for everyone, and we appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much, and you served an amazing term.
Hola. I just wanted to say that I am so incredibly proud of you, and all of us talk about your accomplishments because they are amazing, but I also want to say I'm very proud of your entire journey, like really starting strong, building relationships, like being driven by your values, and just putting a lot of effort into everything you did, trying new things, and finally working to make education better for the city and especially for kids. I cannot wait to see what you do next, and I am so proud of you. Te quiero mucho.
Hi, Puppy. We're so proud of you and all the work that you did to make sure that students, staff, teachers, and everyone that works at MSCS was better off in the system. We really appreciate everything that you did, and we're so proud of you. We love you.
Frank Johnson, what could I say about you except to say that you have been a friend. I was so glad I had an opportunity to meet you back in 1994 in Dr. Hedgeman's choir room at Overton Choir. Yes, not Overton High School, Overton Creative and Performing Arts High School, yes. I'm so glad we had a chance to cross paths back then and still today. We appreciate you for the work and efforts that you've made as a board member for MSCS. I know that the work that you put in, the efforts that you put forth for the teachers, the students, the administration, everyone made a difference. You made a mark. And I know Dr. Hedgeman will be proud. We are proud of you. We stand with you and we wish you well. God bless you.
School Board Commissioner Reverend Frank Johnson. Frank W. Johnson. Y'all know W stands for Williams. I know he probably told y'all about that. I remember when your name first started being tossed around and considered for District 7. I remember your reluctance, your inhibitions, and your, pause. And I know that it was not because you were scared. It's because you understand how much it takes to fight for folks in those positions. And I want to salute you and thank you for the ways in which you have led and loved and lived while serving the school board. I know you've been through some real highs and lows, and I have seen you go through it with a level of grace and authenticity that can be appreciated by anybody who loves black folks. And so I'm excited to see what God is going to continue to do in your life and I and the Abyssinian Baptist Church and the scores of people all across this city, county, and country, thank you for your service. We love you and wish you all the best. Peace, brother.
As we move forward and we see the torch being passed, we are absolutely excited. Excited because we celebrate the great work that has been done on behalf of this school board. Excited about the transitions that are happening as we see board members take on new challenges, move to higher heights, and transition to the next seasons in their lives. We also are very excited about the torch being passed as we think about the names of those who sat in those seats, the Teresa Joneses, the Sarah Lewises, the Dr. Browns, the many, many people who have sat where you sit. We're excited about the torch being passed to this new school board who are being commissioned to change this city in which we call home, to support this country in which we live, to ultimately create students who can succeed and excel anywhere they decide to live. Thank you so much to those of you who have taken on the challenge, accept the passing of the torch, to ensure that our students are successful, our communities thrive, and that we're a better place because you've served.
Importantly, for being the men and women in the arena, because it's not the critic who counts, not the man or woman who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man and woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he or she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his or her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Thank you for being in the arena with me, with us, for those of us who do this heavy, necessary heart work. I appreciate you, and thank you for taking a chance on me.
Thank you, Dr. Fagans. We'll put that video together. I promise you I own more than one suit, and I do have kids. So while I appreciate you guys, I got some explaining to do when I get home. So, but thank you guys. That was awesome.
I think we take the time that is necessary for our leaders. Board Member Woods. I'll read one. Kevin Woods has served as Commissioner of the Memphis-Shelby County Schools Board of Education since October 2011, where he was appointed to sit in trust for a diverse community. Whereas Kevin Woods was charged with meeting the community's expectations and aspirations for public education of our children, representing Super District 4 of the largest school district in the state of Tennessee. Whereas countless members of District 4 have supported Commissioner Kevin Woods in service as their school board commissioner and education advocate. They are thankful for his support, time, and sacrifices for the betterment of Memphis-Shelby County schools. And whereas on this occasion, it is fitting to pause and reflect in appreciation of Commissioner Kevin Woods and his dedication and commitment to Memphis-Shelby County schools, whereas a native of Bolivar, Tennessee, Kevin earned his bachelor's degree in computer engineering from the University of Memphis and a master's degree in marketing at the University of Memphis. Began his career path with New Horizons Computer Learning Centers, introducing graduates, workers, and veterans to computer training, and became executive director of the company before using his skills and passion for employee development as the executive director of Workforce Investment Network. Whereas Kevin Woods was responsible for providing leadership that ensured a clear, shared vision of public education for Memphis-Shelby County schools, set high standards for the education of all Memphis-Shelby County school students, and required the effective and efficient operation of the district. Whereas during his tenure as a commissioner of the Memphis-Shelby County School Board of Education, Kevin Woods served as the VP, Memphis Market President of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and served as a board member for the Salvation Army, United Way of Mid-South, Shelby Farms Conservancy, Memphis River Parks, and Neighborhood Preservation Incorporated. He was an alum of the 2014 class of Leadership Memphis and an alum of the 2017-18 class of Leadership Tennessee. Whereas the Shelby County Board of Education extends well wishes upon Kevin Woods as he departs from his governing body and acknowledges with sincere appreciation his positive and lasting mark on Memphis-Shelby County schools. Now, therefore, with this proclamation to honor him for having devoted so much time and energy to the education of our children, we, the Shelby County Board of Education, recognize your colleague, Board Commissioner Kevin Woods, for his service to the students, parents, teachers, administration, and board of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Following instructions of the board members. Board Member Frank Johnson. Whereas Frank Johnson has served as Commissioner of Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education since October of 2022, where he was appointed to sit in trust for a diverse community, charged with meeting the community's expectations and aspirations for the public education of our children, representing Super District 7 of the largest school district in the state of Tennessee. Countless members of District 7 have supported Commissioner Frank Johnson in service as their school board commissioner and education advocate. Whereas a native of South Memphis who began his journey as a student at Norris Elementary School, Corey Junior High, and was a graduate of Overton High School, he earned his bachelor's degree in journalism and public relations from the University of Memphis, master's degree in public administration at the University of Phoenix, and a 2020 alumni of Leaders of Color Memphis Fellows. He began his career path within various business sectors before using his skills and passion for students as a classroom teacher at La Rose Elementary for 5 years. Whereas Frank Johnson was responsible for providing leadership that ensured a clear shared vision of public education for Memphis-Shelby County schools, and also set highest standards for the education of all students, and required the effective and efficient operation of the district. Before his tenure as Commissioner of Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education, Frank Johnson was an active member of the Shelby County Democratic Party, board member Grassroots Council, represented the Executive Committee Shelby County District 10, community organizer Black Alliance for Educational Options, Carl Dean for Governor campaign, and currently board member Memphis Artists for Change, President Alcy Ball, Community Association, Community Activist Center for Transforming Communities, Executive Director, Depot Communities United, and an advocate for environmental justice. Whereas the Shelby County Board of Education also extends well wishes to you, Frank Johnson, as you depart from this governing body, and acknowledges with sincere appreciation your positive and lasting mark on Memphis-Shelby County schools.
Frankie! We love you, Frank!
Board Member Calvo.
Mauricio.
Whereas Mauricio Calvo has served as a commissioner of the Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education since August of 2023, where he was appointed to sit in trust for a diverse community, being the only Latinx member. Mauricio Calvo was charged with meeting the community's expectations and aspirations for public education for our children, representing District 5 of the largest school district in the state of Tennessee. Whereas on this occasion, it is fitting to pause and reflect in appreciation of Commissioner Mauricio Calvo and his passion and priorities: literacy, juvenile justice, workforce readiness, and Latino students to Memphis-Shelby County schools. Whereas Mauricio Calvo was responsible for providing leadership that ensured a clear shared vision of public education for Memphis-Shelby County schools, a voice for critical issues impacting the education of all Memphis-Shelby County school students, and required the effective and efficient operation of the district. A native of Mexico City by birth and Memphian by heart, and his education by earning his bachelor's degree in marketing from Christian Brothers University, master's degree in leadership and public service at Lipscomb University, accredited certificate nonprofit leadership at Boston College, accredited certificate in new strategies executives at Georgetown University, and an alumni of Tennessee Leadership, graduate of the Mosaic Fellowship, and a graduate of Pro-Inspire Catalyst Collective. He began his career path as president and CEO of Latino Memphis, where he is a visionary and fosters a thriving and inclusive environment for all members of the community. He is the proud father of 3 beautiful children. Whereas before his tenure as a commissioner of Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education, Mauricio Calvo serves on the board of Unidos? I want to get it right. Hope Credit Union, Hope Development Corp., We Are Memphis, Southwest Tennessee Community College Foundation, and an active member of Shelby Farms Conservancy. He was named Top 10 Professional Memphis Chamber, 12 Who Made a Difference, The Commercial Appeal, and Top 40 Under 40 Memphis Business Journal, and Communicator of the Year, Memphis Chapter of the Public Relations Society of America. Whereas the Shelby County Board of Education also extends well wishes to Mauricio Calvo as he departs from this governing body and acknowledges with sincere appreciation his positive and lasting mark on Memphis-Shelby County schools. He's a little nervous. Reverend Althea Green. Whereas Reverend Althea Green has served as a commissioner of the Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education since February of 2019 and appointed board chair in September of 2022 and former chair of Memphis-Shelby County Schools Academic Performance and Evaluation Committees, where she was appointed to sit in trust for a diverse community and charged with meeting the community's expectation for the public education of their children. Whereas before her tenure as a commissioner and chair of the Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education, Reverend Althea Green served 38 years as an educator at Snowden Elementary. Is owner of Green's Grill and 3 Generations Catering, pastor of Real Life Ministries, and served as chaplain at Regional Medical Center and William F. Bold Hospital. Whereas countless members of District 2 have supported Reverend Althea Green in service as their school board commissioner and education advocate, they are thankful for her support, time, and sacrifices for the betterment of Memphis-Shelby County schools. She was responsible for providing leadership that ensured a clear, shared vision of public education for Memphis-Shelby County schools, set high standards for the education of all students, and required the effective and efficient operation of the district. She was charged with meeting the expectations and aspirations for public education of our children, representing the largest school district in the state of Tennessee. Whereas a native of Memphis, Tennessee, who began her education journey as a student at Caldwell Elementary, Valentine Elementary, Snowden Junior High, and a graduate of Treadwell High School, she earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Lemoyne Owen College, Master of Arts from Tusculum College, Bachelor of Theology, Master's degree in Theological Studies from Tennessee School of Religion, and a doctoral degree in theology. She is the first woman consecrated as a bishop in Memphis and the mother of 2 beautiful daughters and 2 grandchildren. Whereas throughout her career, Reverend Althea Green received numerous awards, including the SWAG Award for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Trailblazer in Education Award, Charter Champion Award, Local Policy Champion of the Year, Tennessee Charter School Center, Women of Worth Award, Exceptional Leadership Award, Award of Excellence for WMC TV Channel 5, Memphis Areas Teachers Credit Union, Christian Educator of the Millennium from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Beta Epsilon Omega Chapter, Crystal Apple Teacher Award, WMC TV, Yellow Rose Award, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Sigma Rho Lambda Chapter, and Snowden Legend Award. She created a summer reading library, board chair newsletter, and chair chat. Reverend Althea Green is a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Clergy Academy Memphis Police Department, and Stand for Children Tennessee. She is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and serves on the spiritual leadership team, Shelby County Chapter. Whereas the Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education extends well wishes upon Reverend Althea Green as she departs from this governing body and acknowledges with sincere appreciation your positive and lasting mark on Memphis-Shelby County schools. Now, therefore, with this proclamation, to honor you for having devoted so much time and energy to the education of all of our children, we, the Memphis-Shelby County Board of Education, recognize Board Chair Reverend Althea Green for your service to the students, parents, teachers, administration, and board of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Before we transition, outgoing board members, if there's anything that you would like to say.
Oh, outgoing?
We'll save the outgoing for last. If any of the current board members want to say anything, we'll do it briefly at this time. Briefly.
I will keep it brief. I just want to thank each of you for the working relationship, the professional relationship that we have. But I feel so lucky to be your friend and to be in this work with you. And I've laughed with you. All of y'all seen me cry. We have shouted at each other, ran each other out of the room. But you have made me better. No, it is a friendly disagreement, right? Like, and that's the people you want around you. And it's been a privilege to serve with each of you. And I'm not going to stop calling. So it's a see you later. And I love you all.
I will try to keep this brief because, I'd love to say something about each one of you individually. Just what an honor it's been to serve with you, Frank, and your amazing smile and beautiful singing voice and just always bringing joy to a room. And Mauricio, just your steadfastness and how you are dedicated to the very last minute. If they knew how you're working up into the last minute. And to my board chair who was by my side some of the toughest times while serving on the board, and I'm forever grateful to you for that. And to my dear friend, Mr. Kevin Woods, who keeps me laughing. You got my mom texting me, telling me stop and pay attention. Sitting up here, she watches these meetings religiously, and but just your dedication, having served, you are always our North Star. And as a veteran, having been over this board with the transition, getting to meet your beautiful wife, your daughters, I'm a big fan of Lily. And you are just an upstanding individual, and it's been the utmost pleasure to serve with you and with all of you, but especially for the last 6 years. You helped show me the ropes when I got on the board, so thank you so much.
Board Member Williams.
The work that I've done speak for me, and I am so amazed and proud and happy to say that about my colleagues on this board. They have been glorious, they have been very instructive, and they have led the way for us who were coming on new. And I appreciate all that you did, that you poured into this organization by selecting a superintendent, by doing all that we've done. And in the midst of it all, you have kept it together, and we've stayed very strong. Congratulations, go forth and live life like it's worth living. Thank you.
Board Member Love.
Frank. We are a family. I met you in New Orleans many, many years ago. And what happened in New Orleans stays in New Orleans.
We'll have to hear more about that later. I'm going to say.
Frank, you and I are always connected because we share the same story. But it's by the grace of God that we were still here. Mauricio,
I never understood what you said, but you can say the same about me.
That's very true, yeah. We need a mutual translator.
You have been a joy for the time you spent. And I agree with Michelle. You always work until the last minute.
Is that because I'm late, or?
Althea, we have shared many ups and downs. But when I was in the hospital recuperating from my stroke, you sent my kids money, and they used it all on Uber Eats. There is a list, but I don't have the time. I am going to miss you. Invite me to Sunday dinner. Kevin, we have a love and hate relationship. Sometimes I love him, sometimes I can't stand him.
Join the club.
But you have been sitting beside me for 10 years. I watched your kids grow up, and you did the same for mine. You pushed me to be better at what I did, regardless of if we agreed on it or not. That's right. I am going to miss you. Monday morning quarterbacking. We are like family. Every family has some disagreements and some successes. But I wouldn't change any one of you. The experiences I learned, and the district is a better place with you on the board. I'm not going to say farewell. I'm going to say see you later. Mauricio has already invited me to his house for tacos Tuesday, and I'm going to take you up on an offer. Thank you.
Y'all got to make shorter board meetings if you're going to have Taco Tuesday.
Frank, it has been an absolute pleasure fighting with you over Overton High School. When Frank came on board, he let me know I could have every school, but Overton was his. And I appreciate the concern that you've shown for every school, not just the ones in your district. Something you didn't understand, you didn't hesitate to call and ask questions. And that's what makes a great leader, to know that they don't know everything. And I appreciate you. And I will continue to check on you to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So don't try me, because you know I will be checking on you. Mauricio, as Board Member Love said, you sit beside me, and sometimes I be saying, what is this man saying? But I know your passion. It shows in your faith. It shows in everything that you do. Don't lose your passion for our children. We need you. I will be calling you. North Star. when you kept saying about the North Star, I was like, what is wrong with this man and his North Star? And a revelation came to me. Your North Star is the brightest star that you have. It's what you go for. And you've pushed me to go for many North Stars because you've called me and you've gave me those questions that I had to think about. And I appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate you for letting us know that you're on this journey with us. And the North Star is shining bright today because of Kevin Woods. The bishop, the one that would call me and say, girl, you better start praying right now. Not right now, but right now. You better start praying. And I wouldn't ask a question. I would just do it. The prayer meetings are not over. I will be calling you saying, girl, you better start praying. But I appreciate each of you for the many lessons that we've learned together. Hard lessons, easy lessons. For those of you, Kevin, that was there to support me when my son passed. Thank you. Thank you so much, and we love you. Now we have a brief comment. Board Member Johnson, Board Member Calvo, Board Member Woods, and then Board Member Green. Chair Green, I'm sorry.
It's for me to go first, huh? Oh, I'll start with Stephanie. What happens in...
No, I'm helping you out too. We're going to start with whatever you want to say is your goodbye so we can run this meeting. I know we ain't about to do no. Let me use my vernacular correctly. I don't plan to give 8 of y'all shout outs. I want to run this meeting, but I'm sorry, Ms. Frank, that was rude, and I apologize. But I'm just want to set the tone that we still got a superintendent report and a board meeting. I'm gonna finish how I start, which is an efficient meeting. So let's get it going, guys.
Well, Stephanie, whatever happens in New Orleans stays in New Orleans. Woo! Oh my God! I mean, my God. But it meant the world to me when I looked up after I had my stroke and you and Althea were standing there for me. You and Althea were there. And just from Mauricio, just to Althea. Althea, I never knew that Yumika was your daughter.
Okay.
But but I just want to thank each and every one of you for what you've contributed to my life and everything. And I'll leave it at that. Mauricio, you come up.
I'll be brief and I'll try to speak slowly so I'll be clear. Muchas gracias, and I mean everybody knows that word, to every one of you. I learn from each and every one of you, and it's as the later addition to the board, it was weird. I was just here 11 months ago, and it's just amazing how fast you get to know somebody and you get to see that it's only with people that you probably have seen before, but now you have this huge responsibility in common. So thank you to each one of you for being different, for pushing me to be a better board member, for challenging me, for allowing me to be myself. To all of you in the public, to Tito, to Dr. Wailo, and I can go on, Maria Stewart, to Michelle, to all of you for teaching me so much, to the media for keeping us honest and keeping us accountable, for being always asking the tough questions, to our general counsel, to our superintendent, and each one of you. Like Amber said, we share many laughs. We share some drinks too. We share a lot of good moments and reflection. Yes, right. But this is important. And to the public, you saw sometimes how we make sausage, but this is the people's business, and we have to do it publicly. We have to do it openly. And sometimes when you see us that we just go on and on and on, sometimes when you see that we go too fast, there's so much behind the scenes that happens. So to all the executive team, to all the people who came before us, this is an amazing opportunity. And I know there's 100,000 things that don't work every day, but there is at least 1 million things that work out every single day, and it's because all of you. So thank you for this opportunity. It was a great honor.
Great job. So again, thank you for the recognition today, everybody, the superintendent, board colleagues, the words. We appreciate all of you, and it's with great gratitude that it's been a pleasure to serve. So, colleagues, those who are outgoing with me, we pass the torch, right? We pass the torch to the willing, we pass the torch to the capable, and most importantly, we pass the torch to the courageous. So, the North Star is excited to pass the torch in District 4 to Tamarcus Porter, and I look forward to watching you guys continue to do great things. And shout out to all you who we don't get to say thank you enough for, who really are doing the heavy lifting. We see you, the cameras aren't often watching you, but we get to watch you do great work. And all of us, on behalf of kids, we thank you, and it's been a pleasure to serve. Thank you.
Soup, you gonna let me talk tonight? You coming up to that chair. I thought you was getting ready to cut me off. I was just kidding. I just want to say thank you. I think about colleagues during the pandemic when we didn't have a manual. Think about how we stood outside in the rain and the cold and served meals. Y'all remember that? I remember how, and some of the people who used to work for the district, thank you for the countless hours of passing out math packets and reading packets. I think sometimes we don't say thank you to people enough when we sit in this seat. Thank you to those of you who have given your life. Dr. Whitelaw, who just don't sleep, stay up all night. Thank you for just your wisdom, your knowledge. Tito, we can't help but love you. That love-hate relationship, but we love you. We appreciate you. And just know that I'm just going to change seats. So Love said, we're not going to say goodbye, because when you see me at the microphone on the 4th Tuesday night in an orange shirt, just don't even be shocked. Just know I'm going to continue to fight for children. I'm going to continue to be an advocate in this community. And I'm not really going anywhere. Love, I'm going to ride the bus, be on the buses with the bus drivers. Since they having problems with the children, I volunteer to just ride a couple of bus rides. Dr. Fagan knows that I'll just jump right in and help. And so I'm not saying goodbye because I'm not going anywhere. You'll just see me somewhere else real soon. Thank you. All right, and so we'll move right on to our committee reports. 8.1, board chair report. I just want to say thank you once again. It's been a privilege and a blessing to serve with you. I also want to thank Commissioner McKissick for stepping up and helping us with the charter council. Want to announce that Dr. Antonio Burt will serve as the chair along under the guidance of Board Member McKissick. We're excited about that relationship as we continue to build our relationship with our partners. Everything else from academics is on tonight. So that's it for academics. 8.3, budget, audit, and finance. Any reports tonight?
No report, thank you.
All right, 8.4, charter school committee report.
You just mentioned the news. Thank you.
Thank you. 8.5, community outreach and engagement. If you can make it, Ms. Love.
No report.
All right. 8.6, evaluation committee report.
Thank you, Chair Green. State law and the superintendent's contract require the board to conduct a superintendent evaluation. Per the superintendent's contract, section 5A, a mid-year evaluation must be completed no later than November. This requirement is also consistent with the superintendent evaluation law. Even though the work of the superintendent evaluation will be completed by the new board, it is critical to start the process now, because the next scheduled business meeting for the board after today will be September 24th. Therefore, I'd like to offer the following plan for the board to consider. This midterm evaluation is a bit different than in past years. The superintendent has only been in this role for a short, I say again, a short period, and board members who can provide valuable context are departing while new members will join next week. This timeline is fast, but it helps ensure that each step of the evaluation process is carried out methodically allowing for thoroughness and compliance with the legal and contractual obligation. It's essential to agree on what will be evaluated before adopting an evaluation tool. And that is why it's necessary to engage in drafting a board strategic plan and goal setting that can then outline expectations for the superintendent. MSCS policy, the contract, and best practices require measuring quantitative and qualitative metrics. And for the outgoing board members and those that are looking, it's a timeline that we have outlined, and I'm asking that by the 31st, that the outgoing board members and the current board members submit to General Counsel, your recommendations for the board, for the superintendent evaluation, submitted by the 31st. The first 3 weeks in September, and we will gauge and outline a strategic plan with objectives, and this is with the superintendent, with objectives and metrics for the superintendent's October evaluation. Review the superintendent's goals and align them with board expectations. Develop and adopt an evaluation, tool based on these objectives. And then at the September business meeting, present and approve the strategic plan, objectives and goals, and adopt evaluation tool during the September business meeting. The first 2 weeks in October, the board members performed a mid-year evaluation. This is, if anybody wants to follow along with us, this is public record, so you can see it. And we'll vote at the October business meeting on the midterm evaluation for our superintendent.
You've got a choice. You can make this now as it's coming up, so you can go on a motion now, or you can wait for 12:05, which is where it is. Let's do it now. Let's deal with this piece of business now.
Okay, we can.
Any questions? Do we have a motion to accept?
This is a motion to accept the timeline.
The timeline, yes, sir.
Motion to accept the timeline?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
I just want to get on the record, Madam Superintendent. First of all, thanks for the work put in this. It's paramount that this body, especially the outgoing board members, make it as seamless as possible for incoming board members for us to stay in compliance with state law. Madam Superintendent, any questions on the timeline itself to make sure that the board stayed in compliance?
Now, I did mention to Vice Chair, and I did share that part of my contract, maybe there's a different interpretation from my view and my council's view in terms of a mid-year in the language that is written. It did state that after the first evaluation and no later than, and so I haven't had an evaluation just yet. And so that would be my only inquiry in terms of performing a mid-year evaluation. Just based on the language in the contract. Otherwise, I haven't had the opportunity to read the document before me, but certainly if it's the will of the board to pursue an aggressive timeline, then certainly if the work can be done, let's do it.
Sounds good, thank you.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Woods.
Aye.
Commissioner Love.
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. Superintendent evaluation timeline accepted. 8.7, policy governance and report.
The policies are on the agenda. I do want to make mention, next month, we're starting our legislative agenda. So have your plans ready next month.
Thank you. 8.8, procurement committee report.
Everything is on the agenda.
Thank you. 8.9, general counsel report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No report, but I would just like to take this moment to say to our outgoing board members, on behalf of the Office of the General Counsel, what an absolute pleasure and honor it's been to serve alongside you for the last, well, for me for 3 months, but I'm sure for my predecessors for the time that you all have served. So thank you all.
Thank you. Does it feel just like 3 months? No comment.
All right, good evening. I'll be brief this evening. I would just want to give a recap of Hey Neighbor, incredibly successful endeavor. So thank you to everyone who went out, knocked on doors Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week, and then certainly we rounded out the week on Saturday. We knocked on more than 600 doors. This is in our areas where we had the most no-shows, students who just have not shown up to school, who have not enrolled. A balanced in terms of success. 93.3% in terms of attendance, but I'll go to that in the next slide. But in terms of what we were after is getting more students enrolled, reconnecting our families, figuring out the types of supports that were necessary. And so thank you to everyone who knocked on doors with us. Thank you to Safety and Security for joining us as well. Enrollment updates as of today, we have 109,636 students. This is 1,446 more students than we had on this same day last year. So we are thrilled about our increase in the number of students who are enrolled this year. We're projecting 111,983 students. So certainly that was the purpose of our Hey Neighbor, to find those about 2,000 students who just haven't shown up just yet. We're looking at our pre-K enrollment, 4,528 students, slightly down from projections for sure, but higher than actual 17th day last year. And then certainly you can take a look at the additional numbers there across the board. Taking a look at our daily attendance rates, you can see days 1 through 17, 17 being today, 95.1% attendance, which is outstanding, and then certainly 0.5% up from last year this same day. And so when we say that attendance is important, but when we say our emphasis on attendance is incredibly important, we're thankful to our families for responding to us, not just being ready on day 1, but continuing to show up on now day 17. Our instructional vacancies, as we look at our numbers here, just our hard number, 309. We have about 209 after we do our adjustments. As you know, that when we project a certain number of students, then we certainly build out that number of vacancies to satisfy the number of students. And so some of these are not true vacancies, if you will, in terms of the need. As we look at enrollment across each school, we will begin to make staffing adjustments. We already know there are about 100 positions or vacancies already that we will close. That will take us down to 209, and we have several additional adjustments that we'll continue to make. As we look at the areas, we've shared already CCTE. Our highest number of vacancies sit with our elementary spaces, our mathematics, and then certainly as we look at special education, 84 today, that's just down 6. We were at 90. And so when we look at those critical areas, with special education being that one area that we cannot have anyone who is on an alternative pathway, a teacher with a permit, or anyone served, they have to be certified. We're thrilled to say that our Public Safety Council has been established. We have 9 representatives from each district. So thank you to these officers who will do the work and walk alongside me and serve as an advisory council as we think about how to be innovative in our approaches, continue to provide the level of safety that is needed and being desired across the district, and what that feels like in our individual districts in terms of representation. And so those 9 officers serve in buildings. We do have 3 representatives who will serve from the central office level, from the district level, and then certainly our Public Safety Council will include students who are not listed here, but we do have students who represent each of our 9 councils as well. So thank you to Safety and Security. We've been able to make a lot of moves forward, certainly the increase in salary, but more than that, a few other areas. We will be able to honor the experience and the education level as desired by our officers. Certainly we are taking a look at on-the-job injuries and looking at policy to bring to the board to extend the amount of time that they are required to receive medical assistance or help to determine on the other side what that support needs to look like. And then certainly continuing to pay for in-service, and there are some additional conversations that are taking place that I'll bring to the board in executive session. More importantly, I want to say thank you. I did ask our facilities team, if you're here, if you will come to the front, please. Anyone in facilities? I see you, don't be shy. There they are. They're there. They're like, are you sure? Yeah. These are. Keep it clapping while they're coming up. And when we talk about the groups that are seen and unseen, so although we led the news with HVAC, we know we have aging buildings, but we also know we have to take care of what we have. And so from plant managers to HVAC technicians, our craftsmen, all of those who serve to get out and do the work, they've closed some nearly 700 work orders in just 17 days. And so certainly as we put them out, teachers are putting them out, I just want you to know that we're doing the work with a limited staff, with a shortage that is being experienced. They do not make excuses. They show up, get it done. I enjoy receiving all of the messages, just letting me know what's happening in the field, and more importantly, how you're standing up the work for all of our buildings. And so we see you, we thank you, and we applaud you for who you are and the work that you do for Memphis-Shelby County Schools.
I had to buy a new one because it was jacked up.
It's all there. Okay, look at me. All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Already?
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. That was awesome. I just want to start by saying, continue to show the faces of the folks who do great work.
Absolutely.
You are killing it on that part, on that front. These are the folks who are in the trenches every day, making us proud. And please give them another round of applause as they go over.
Thank you, North Star. That is it. In the trenches every day, making us proud. Comments? Your lights were on? Yes, ma'am.
I have one question about the superintendent's report. Okay. On the enrollment updates slide, there's a line that says baseline staffing, and it is currently 80,582. Are those traditional, or I guess district schools? Like, what is the definition of baseline staffing?
That's correct.
Okay. So I think one of my questions was, are the enrollment projections down for Memphis-Shelby County Schools as an entire system, as a portfolio district? No, enrollment is not. But it looks like we are passing more money through the district, and we are actually at risk of losing funding for up to 1,276 students. Is that, or when we're thinking about how we budget? Or at least we don't retain that.
Walk me through it one more time, Board Member Hewitt Garcia.
So our overall enrollment is 109,000, But when you break out all the categories of Memphis-Shelby County district schools that are not charter or Excel or virtual schools, are we going to be passing more money through and retaining less for Memphis-Shelby County district schools?
I think if I understand your question correctly, charter schools have actually met their projected enrollment. And so what you're seeing here is they've actually hit, I think, the 19,000 students. So if you're asking if we're going to lose money?
I think it seems clear that the budget is not going to be far off of what we bring in total, but a lot of that money is passed through to other schools or other entities. Is that the case based on our projections on the baseline staffing line?
I appreciate that, Music.
And why I'm asking is...
So it's actually up over last year in terms of the baseline staffing. Our actual is 80,582. And if we look at last year, so we're actually up.
What was it last year? I'm sorry.
Last year was 80,347.
Okay. So we're not, yes.
Right.
So the negative 1,200 is just based on our initial projections for this year, not.
There you go. That's just the variance between the project.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I think and that is, the question is driven by how much money, when we think about the overall budget, the economies of scale, when some of it goes out, and then how will that impact our operations and services? But it seems it is not a challenge.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, good question.
Dr. Fagan, I don't want to belabor that point, but I do want to, we first of all, congratulations on not only the enrollment being up, but also the fact that you and your leadership team actually out on the pavement on very hot summer days, and somehow surprisingly doing it with a smile. But that's impressive, and it's been a clear positive response from the community on being active and doing such. My question is more around the fact that we also took on, was it 5 additional schools? So, which says that there's likely some seepage where there are still students missing, right? So while enrollment is up, we also had a capture of additional schools. And so therefore, where are the students? If we pull out those students, we likely will see a deficit in students. So I think you're still sharing the narrative that the district has more students, the district's still trending in the right direction, but we do have students that simply are still not showing up, and that it's everybody's job, right? So while I appreciate seeing leadership out, on the pavement, continue to lean in on friends, folks in churches. Somebody know where these kids are, right? And so, like, what more can we be doing to make sure that we're encouraging these families to send these kids to school without you having to go look for them?
Absolutely. I will say that as a result of Hey Neighbor, we have had, more parents to reach out. Some have reached out directly. Can you call? Hey, I have a specific situation. Some of it has been transportation and a request for consideration within 1.5 miles, which is what we currently provide. And so they have reached out. Several community members have reached out to support as well. But we are missing some 2,700 students. Several of those are houseless and they are in hotels. And so that work this week we are visiting to support those students and families with enrollment as well.
Thank you. Dr. Pagans, I actually want to address something, the young man who was coming and speaking for peer power in the public comments. And you know that I'm a huge fan of peer power. I personally, my family, my sons have participated, have benefited from all the work that peer power has done. But I'm not sure if I want you just to speak to it, but I just have to, I would be remiss if I didn't say that, what's been in the news of the last week with the chair of that board. And I just had to call it out publicly that it was wrong. And I'm calling on peer power to denounce what transpired. I don't think the chair of that organization would speak to Fred Smith, a CEO as well as our superintendent, in the manner in which it was alleged that he was spoken to you, there were witnesses. And so whereas I appreciate speaking out for peer power and the work that they do, you don't go about getting contracts by bullying the CEO of an organization. And it was wrong. And it extraordinarily disappointing that I have not heard from Peer Power as an organization to speak out publicly against what happened. And so I just had to put it out there, that, you know, I appreciate his coming forth, but that needed to be said. So thank you for all the work that you're doing. It's a really tough job, and for all of us, you know, engaged in this work, I don't think anyone can hold us, certainly I can speak for myself, to a higher standard than I hold myself to. And so I just would love for the entire community to recognize that and treat everyone who's going to either be in this role right now or who's about to assume it with that level of respect. And it's certainly the CEO of our organization. You want to do right by children, you need to do right by the leader of this organization. Thank you.
I want to know what number of truant kids are truant year over year, and what services do you have in the district to provide resources for them and their parents?
Would you like for me to speak to that this evening, or you want to
Briefly.
report?
Briefly.
In terms of year over year, we can get you the actual numbers. In terms of a report, we'd have to do some analysis there, so I can get that information to you. We have been tracking it right now since August the 5th. I will share that we're down right now in both chronic absenteeism and truancy across the board. And so our efforts that we have in place start at one with bringing to the board the policy, the renewed policy, but in terms of supports, in combination with many of our community partners, as well as conversations with Judge Sugarman, DA Mulroy, and thinking about what those partnerships look like as well for our parents, for our families, for our students who are experiencing truancy. It's about education and information and ensuring that they understand what truancy means. It's about making sure that we get the letters in, the excuses, the notes, for sure, and ensuring that our families understand that. So we led that Ready Day 1 session to allow them to understand how to log in to Power School and upload their letters, excuses there. Additional methods is just reaching out to families, as you've seen us do certainly in the community, but outreach by our truancy liaisons who perform that direct outreach to our families to see what supports are necessary, and then certainly looking at a deeper way in terms of the policy itself and how we're enforcing it. So we do know that in some regards we've served as a barrier by not implementing and executing, but also there are some families that just need additional supports, and that's unknown until we actually speak with the family.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We are now on to the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none. Well, she already mentioned 11.2. We could put that. 11.2 is gone. Yeah. All right, I will read each item into the agenda tonight. 11.1, grant approval, Tennessee Department of Mental Health Substance Abuse Services, $75,600. 11.3, grant approval, fine arts enhancement, $7 million. 11.4, contract approval, Coveton Flooring Company, Germantown High School, $186,840. 11.5, copy of contract extension, sports floors, Raleigh Egypt Middle School, $113,438.85. 11.6, contract approval, Jesse Bryan Roofing, Westwood High School, $2,960,210. 11.7, contract extension, structural waterproofing and restoration for well station, $383,070. 11.8, contract extension, structural waterproofing and restoration for Craigmont Middle School, $138,226. 11.9, contract renewal, Methodist Labana Healthcare, $207,000. 11.10, contract renewal, ICIMS, all right, they, 200, okay, they forgot to highlight it, $212,221.10. 11.11, contract approval, pre-ACT assessment, $320,000. 11.12, contract approval for the Works Incorporated. No dollar amount. That's good. 11.13, approval. That's it. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda and a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The consent agenda passes. Superintendent?
As a point of privilege, Board Commissioners, I do want to say, because you are voting on the $7 million investment in our fine arts, specifically for our bands, I did ask the band directors to be here, so if they would stand as well. We thank you for all of your efforts, all of your time that is before school, after school, at every event, at every activity, not just bringing the sounds and the tunes that we love to rock with and rock to, but investing in our most precious cargo, sharing with them your knowledge, your skills, your professional expertise, but your passion for the art of how to do a thing, how to do that thing very well, and how to do the thing so well that you make the lives of others well. So we thank you. Can't wait to get this equipment for you and our kids and see our programs thrive.
You don't have to look around. You can slide out. Nobody. You can. If you're ready to go, you can go, guys.
Right, North Star?
I saw them. I was looking around. They were like, can we go home?
All right, our request for action items, 12.1, ratification, board vote on August 20th, 2024 for our resolution to employ board and district general counsel. Commissioner Love?
I would like to add an amendment to this bill, to this resolution. Everything under general counsel, as it states now, I would like to add everything under general counsel, as it states now, move to general counsel.
So for
I would like to add a amendment to the resolution. Everything that the general counsel operates moves to the general counsel.
So I think it's everything that's under the general counsel, right? Correct?
I want to make sure I'm clear. So every team or department that currently reports to the Office of General Counsel,
Yeah.
you want that to remain? Is that the suggested amendment?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, this is a ratification vote.
Yeah, so we're not changing it.
Yeah, you can't really change it this way. There is a way to change it. It's to amend something previously adopted. I'll be glad to talk to you about how to do that. This is a ratification. There's some question about the legitimacy of the vote that was taken, because although it was posted, it was taken down, and then it was posted, and then it was taken down, and then it was posted. Once it's posted, we have a policy that says you don't mess with it. A ratification is a verification. If there is anything wrong with the vote that was taken, this ratification takes care of it. This makes it solid. So all you're doing is saying, yes, we did this on the 20th, and we meant to do it.
On that roll call vote, Ms. Clark, we did it and we meant to do it, so we'll vote now.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Laura. Mauricio? Go ahead.
Yeah, so this may help clarify Commissioner Love's question. So for the vote of the before the vote of ratification, I would like to read a statement that might help you clarify that. So, okay, it's not going to change anything. So the board unanimously sponsored and passed the resolution to employ board and district general counsel during the special call meeting on August 2024 to ensure independence, strengthen governance, and adhere to its statutory governance functions. The board action this evening is to ratify the vote. I will not read the resolution again since it was previously read into the record. However, I would like to highlight the resolution as adopted by the board created a board district general counsel's office. Leading this newly created office will be the current administration general counsel, who will serve as the general counsel for the board district. Facilitating the work under and reported to the board district general counsel will be all district attorneys and staff personnel responsible for the work assigned to the policy office, otherwise known as intragovernmental affairs, risk management, board office, and all staff personnel responsible for work assigned to office of the general counsel, legal, and policy office. Additionally, the resolution required the transfer of all budgets aligned with the employment, functions, and responsibilities of these offices by today.
So thank you for that.
I would like to withdraw my motion.
Ms. Clark?
Commissioner McKessick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Wood,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That passes. 12.2 is the approval of the resolution to amend the FY 2025 budget. So for that one, we just need a motion and a second, guys. He wants to know the amount that was amended. You said in the sheet.
I'll get the motion on the floor. I just want to, understand clearly what the amendment is. I may have missed that presentation in the work session.
Resolution amending the budget.
This is juggling some money around. General fund increases by 81 and a half. Amending the budget.
Not represent, just speak to what we're approving here before we say yes.
So do you want to speak to? Oh, she's going to speak to. Okay.
Yeah.
You scroll down some.
It's a lot of money. Speak to the high level stuff, just quickly, yeah. Oh, you waiting? Okay, gotcha. All right. So,
The general fund budget would increase by this amendment $81,545,379. So we're amending the budget from $1.3 billion to $1.4 billion. So the capital improvement will decrease from $449,000, amending the budget from $103 million to $102 million. Non-federal and special revenue will decrease by $295,000 from $56 million to $56.1 million. The federal funds will increase by $3 million, amending the budget from $310 million to $314 million.
I appreciate the reading of the resolution, and I know you did a presentation, so thank you for, what are the big things that we're moving. I think for the public to understand, these look like really big shifts. Can you give us a narrative? If my Granwood elementary daughter were sitting here, tell her what all the things are changing in the budget, how would you share it with us and the listening public who might be making dinner or getting their kids ready for school tomorrow and want to know what's going on with our budget? Can you give us a high level explanation of what's causing these changes?
I don't have my presentation in front of me, but the general fund will undergo a functional realignment which have a zero impact. The $1 million for the general fund, I have to get that to you. I don't know what the exact $1 million is. But
I think we're thinking just something a bit more broad, like is this going towards sports? Is this going towards safety and security? Just in general,
Because we are voting on it tonight.
For example.
So the high level in terms of what the shifts are, we're looking at safety initiatives, about $812,000. That's one large move. The Whitehaven STEM, that's an additional shift. We're looking at the deferred maintenance, our efforts there. In addition to that, we're looking at the carryover for board member allocation, so that shift is there. Adjustments made based on TISA to align with what the state has shared. ESSER funds that we've received that were carried over, that we received approval. General grant money that we've received that was not accounted for. Additional alignments that we have made. Tonight's approval of the extension of payment for impacted employees. I think high-level things as well would be our pre-K funding, that is in there, and any additional grants that we have received as well. That turnaround action grant, certainly that's for our schools, to move our schools out of the bottom 5%, so that's targeted money there. Our Head Start funds, so those are most of the large items that are contributing to the amendment of the budget.
Dr. Fagan, thank you for that high-level update. A couple quick questions, and again, apologies for having to leave early last week. The safety initiatives, the $812,000, is that staffing? Is that equipment? Is it a combination of above? Is it the new salary increases for the employees? Could someone speak specifically to that line item?
It is raises. It is a combination of, and if you want to speak to it a little bit more to give some more clarity, Langston, you can do that as the overseer of safety and security.
So specifically, the $812,000 is a carryover for we're looking at for phase 2. So it's the additional X-rays for an additional amount of schools. So last year when we had the fund balance assignment of 802. Well, it was initially more than that. This is a carryover to pay for the related services that will be for the X-ray machines and things of that nature for to finish out the schools in phase 2.
So when you say carryover, just so I'm clear, so is that I see where you're the carryover. So you have the carryover board allocations, and then the carryover of the $43 million. Is it because of? So why are you separating those out? Is it because from a different fund?
So when you're looking at the amendment as it relates, so in the general fund, you see you're going from you're increasing by $81 million. So a couple things happened last year. Last year, we did a fund balance assignment of $58 million for deferred maintenance. We did some other security things in that nature. The way it works is that in the $81 million, you have what's by policy, you have to carry over purchase orders that has contracts $5,000 or greater for services.
Right.
That's by policy you have to carry over. There was some odd $44 million. $812,000 of that $81 million, again, was related to fund balance assignments that wasn't finished from last year, so we carried it over. There's another $34 million of the $58 million that we didn't finish projects on, again, that we're carrying over, again, not using new fund balance money, but the same fund balance money that the board approved last year just for projects that wasn't completed. That makes up the majority of the $81 million that you see here.
That makes sense. Thank you. And then SCORP, is that the funding that Ms. Love talks about regarding the recapturing of the ASD schools?
That's exactly right. So SCORP, again, as you'll see related to, it is when we took back schools for Fairleigh, Caldwell, Guthrie, things of that nature. So when we receive those schools back, there is funding related to standing those schools up. So the SCORP is a process of doing allocations for computers, things of that nature, again, to stand those schools up, doing a SCORP process for reopening those schools. So again, that's one-time things that we do, and that's kind of typically how you want to use your fund balance.
And because it's going to general fund, there's someone manages to make sure that it goes to the schools that Ms. Love wants them to go to?
So what you'll see here is that everything related to these expenditures, when we say it's related to a school, you can see an accurate accounting that is, if it's for Caldwell, Guthrie, or if it's for Fairleigh, it is aligned to a school location number in the accounting system. So if ever Ms. Love says she wants to see if we've done ACs for Tresvant back in 2016, we'll go back into the system and look at the location for Tresvant, and we'll give her the transactions, as we oftentimes do, for specifically towards Tresvant or any other school that any board member or anybody or the general public or anybody who would want to know.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. The last thing I'll say on that is that this is a portion of the board meetings where it's typically a fast motion approved, second, and a vote, but it's a lot of dollars moving very fast, and so I do think it's important that we spend some time. I know you're hosting the Budget 101 conversations with the community as well as board members. We vote on it fast primarily is because those who sit in that seat has built a tremendous amount of trust with the board, and we believe that what they say is valid, and we can count on it, and no pun intended, we can take it to the bank. And so I'm excited for the new CFO who's leading in that space, and we will continue to show patience and grace to understand, but let's continue to hold hands, lock arms with board members, particularly the new board members, because it is such an important role that you all play in to make sure that we continue to be good stewards of these dollars. So thank you.
I want to see what line item is from the contracts that you didn't sign. You let them expire.
Can you rephrase your question?
Last month, you told us that you didn't renew certain contracts. I want to see a line item in the budget for that money that you didn't renew the contracts with.
I'm not sure that I follow in terms of what the board voted on, the board approved budget. That's where you see everything that is line by line. So I have to get more clarity offline about specifically what you're seeking.
There were a whole bunch of contracts that you didn't renew. I want to see that money. Where is the money included in the that you didn't renew, where is the money?
So we have $96 million going to capital facilities for our phase 1 project that you voted on and approved. We have about $28 million for teacher raises so it's not that each dollar for a contract was assigned equally for the amount of the contract. It was just based on the budget, where would we invest our money? So like there's no direct, if ABC contract was 2.2 million, then this is where you see the 2.2 million. And I think that's what you're asking. That's not how it exists. Is that what you're asking? Like you want to see the direct investment of the specific amount of whatever the contract is that expired. You want to see where that went?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no secret. You eliminated positions and you cut people's salary. I want to see that allocation in the resolution.
I'm just really not following. I apologize in terms of
the seed office. You dismantled the seed office and you got this person with this person, and we had a whole seed office. You didn't, you let some people go and you kept some of them. Where is the money in the budget for the ones that you let go? How much money is it?
So the reduction in staff was about $33 million, $33 million for contracts. I think it was $68 million total with contracts and our reduction in force. I don't know that we dismantled the seed office. Is there a such thing as seed office by name and terminology? No, but the efforts and the work exist. It just exists in different spaces under different folks in terms of education services. We still serve our houseless individuals. We still service individuals for attendance and enrollment. We've spread out our resources, and in speaking with principals and assistant principals and those who are really deploying those resources, it's serving us well. I've had conversations with attendants about if we need to expand a little bit more because we're growing, and I'm not afraid to continue having those conversations and making those adjustments, but a direct investment from employee making $50,000 and then being able to show where the $50,000 went, that's simply just not how the budget was determined, if I'm understanding what you're sharing. But $68 million between reduction in force and contracts not being renewed, that's where $96 million in capital facilities investment work, $28.3 million in our increase in teacher salaries, $3.4 million in our craftsmen and HVAC technicians, additional increases for our GOS, our financial secretaries and clerical assistants, and so it starts to add up there. And in addition to having to take on additional monies to pay out for Whitehaven's STEM lab, so all of that money comes out of our general fund, and that's where we see those investments start to add up to be what I think is equivalent to what you're asking for here.
How much money did you spend on everything? The total.
I'm just not following, Board Member Love. I apologize.
How much money did you spend on the total in which you explained a few seconds ago? And show me where the extra money is.
Board Member Love, with all due respect, I think anytime you're coming with a district of this size, there's never any extra money, quite honestly, with all the deferred maintenance that we have. And so to go line by line item, that is a very specific thing I believe the CFO can maybe follow up with later. But you know, the $68 million has been reappropriated as the superintendent explained. At least that was my understanding of it all. And I do understand of wanting to see dollar for dollar, but that is such a micro level approach. At this point, it would require, I think, a one-on-one to get that granular. So if you're comfortable with moving forward so that we can address other business on the board tonight, I respectfully request that.
With all due respect, I'm not going to vote on anything I don't understand. You cut, the board cut, along with your recommendation, slew of employees. You cut their salaries, and I want to make sure it's in the budget. You are not doing, I don't want to have it used on something that I didn't approve.
So in the board-approved budget that you requested that we place online, that's been adopted, it goes line by line on every page. I think there are 500 plus pages in the book. It goes line by line, and it shares exactly where we've invested. I did share with you that that would change, as the budget is always fluid, as we receive additional income and monies, as we also make amendments to accommodate the board's will. The budget is fluid, but it is line by line in all of those hundreds of pages, if you will, to delineate or to outline exactly what you're asking here. We can set up some time and go through some things so that you can see where some of the specific investments are that aren't coming out right now. And I do understand that what is before you is a lot, and it is a lot to consume. And so we can set that time up with you and walk through it so that you just have a clearer understanding.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Superintendent, you just spoke about the clerical assistants receiving more funding. When will that take place? I've received several calls. I think it was a confusion. I spoke with Chief Langston yesterday that the wording was a bit confusing, so can we get a clarification on that?
Yeah, I think anytime there's confusion on our end, you honor what it is that we've said and shared. And so what I've shared with them is to honor the increase for everyone. It doesn't matter what their classification was. And then sharing with individuals that their increase in their salary would be because we're taking them to 12 months is not an increase. So they need to see something in their checks. So have had that conversation with the team, and they are working to give those. I think that it will show up on the next check. I'm confident that it will show up not on this Friday, but the following one, that all individuals that are categorized in those particular areas will receive the increase.
Not this Friday.
Not this Friday, but the next. So the first check in September.
So that Saturday they won't call me and say, I didn't get it. And
They might, but you let me know, and you know,
I'm
because they email me as well.
I'm
Yes,
gonna call
ma'am.
Chief Langston to pay their money.
Yes, I'm just gonna take care of all of them.
Okay.
Clerical, financial secretaries, because of the language and the wording and the titles, don't want that to be misconstrued. And so rather than trying to sift through that, I've just shared with the team to honor the increase across the board.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my question is about, it's a legit question about compliance to both of you. So I know that, as you said, the budget is fluid, and the county approves the total, right? The county does not have line item veto power. I understand that. But when we make these major shifts from category to category, the question is, do we ever have to go in front of the county commission to notify them or to get reapproval on the budget?
Mr. Langston, yes, but I'll allow Mr. Langston to speak.
So just as, if the board chooses to approve this amendment tonight, it'll go forward to the county commission again for their approval as well. So with them being the funding body, they approve our budget that's adopted as well as any amendment that's carried out before the board as well.
So does that happen every time we make the monthly amendment? Pretty much you take it back to the county commission?
Yes, but I will say recently we haven't been doing monthly amendments. It's a lot to do monthly. We've been trying to do it quarterly per se because it's a lot to get on their agenda. So every time that you approve an amendment, it goes before the county commission to be read and approved as well.
All right, just want to make sure we're in compliance with that. Thank you.
So, anybody? It's been a while since I've done this part. Any other lights? I do have a quick question, Superintendent. Hopefully, just to buy us some time to the board chair gets back. So, one question I have for you, particularly around this particular resolution, does any of it require any staffing increase or any new departments being created?
No.
All right. So no trick question there, but I do want us to be on the record, particularly returning board members. One of the things I think I've said it before, say it again, I think we lost our way. On the resolution tonight, there's a resolution on the agenda tonight where we have to ratify the displacement of employees, right? So a tough position for this body to be in, but we cannot be tasked with decreasing the size of central office when we're not tasked with increasing the size of central office. So the state law is clear. Any new departments, any new positions being created has to be ratified by this body. When the budget is set and there's an announcement, we're gonna have this cool new thing happening. If it requires new people, it has to be brought before this body to ratify it. Failure to do that is how you have position creeps. It's how you have department starts to get bigger and bigger, and then suddenly we face the challenge that we faced as a body a few months before. So I just want to remind us that if there is any increased departments, that it has to be brought before this body. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, but we have to make sure that we ask those questions and continue. I know there's sometimes mid-year there may be grant funding. The superintendent does have the power through policy to to make those immediate hires in the event of grant funding, but all new positions should be brought forth to this body for ratification. Is that okay? Is that happening, or that will happen moving forward if not?
That is happening, and
Okay,
I think
great.
there's a suggestion here, not even a suggestion, but I do want to say that the custodial services, those positions at Caldwell Guthrie, I think board member, someone asked me about them, but they are in the budget that you approved, near page 575, somewhere around in there, 572.
You made it very clear early on. I did suggest bringing the board along with you, but you made it very clear your desires to have an in-house component. And I saw in the budget book, the plan, not the budget book, but what is it called? The weekly?
The board insight, but those three
board insight.
positions
Yes.
at Caldwell Guthrie are in the board approved
Right,
budget.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so that's good news. How's it going over there, by the way?
Pretty good.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
All right.
In terms of custodial services.
I'm just buying time.
Staffing and internet
The chair's
cabling
back.
and things of that nature, yes. That building was not cabled, and so we have placed a acceleration plan there, if you will. One of the two chillers is suddenly down, so the team you've just thanked is out working on that as well. And then staffing, there are about 3 or 4 employees that we still need to position over there for an enrollment of about 209 students.
Commissioner Love?
I don't want to discuss it now, but at the next board meeting, discuss your plan for bringing services in-house for the custodial workers. Did you plan for it? The OPEB liability and insurance? And did you plan for it for the cleaning services, the materials needed?
Yes to all of that. We're still exploring. If we don't feel like we can stand this up in terms of bringing this in right now, then we won't bring it. What we've shared is that's what the exploration is that has taken place. When we did the budget presentation back in May, we just shared that in terms of we hear you and we're exploring it. So that's what we're doing right now. Cost of equipment, materials, not just to stand it up, but to sustain it for those 40 schools. If we're unable to do it, then we'll bring before the board what those particular, the bid or the next vendor, if you will, that is up as this particular vendor's contract expires in December. So we have not made a commitment. We're just committed to what we shared is to do the exploration in terms of can we sustain the funding, understanding the many fluctuations that take place overall, but certainly in this area. So while the desire and the interest is there, we want to make sure that we can actually take care of it for years to come.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Garcia?
I don't think I need to see a full plan. I'd like to see the results of the pilot, but we've explored this recently, and it is not financially sustainable to bring it in-house. It is not because I know the impact of having a custodial worker, but we have 300 classrooms, 209 when we adjust. I'd like us to focus on our teachers and fully staffing our buildings and holding our vendors accountable as I know we revamped the process and the fees that were associated with it for non-performance. Let's give our vendors a chance to perform, but we know this is tens of millions dollars more, and we're it doesn't, I don't think it will get radically different outcomes for students for the amount of money we invest in. So I'm interested in seeing the pilot data, but I don't need to see a full plan at this time.
And I think we've probably have gone through this, I know for the last 3 years, that we have spent time looking at the cost, and it was not cost effective when you think about the insurance and all the other things that you add. So I may have missed a little bit of the Caldwell-Guthrie conversation, but I just want to go on record to say that I did stop by last week, and I was really upset to have children in the building. There was no way to buzz in, no telephone. It was hot in there, no internet because the chillers. I just pray that we'll get those things. I know you said ASAP, because I do want children to be in a building that's conducive to learning. The principal was teaching, so I trust and pray in the days going forward that we will work hard, and I will be stopping by to continue to monitor. Thank you. Roll call vote, finally, Ms. Clark. Motion and second. Motion by Mr. Woods, second by Commissioner Coleman.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Wood.
Aye.
Commissioner Love.
Present, not voting.
Commissioner Coleman. Commissioner Calvo.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 7 in the affirmative.
All right. And 2 present, not voting.
2 present, not voting.
Thank you. That motion passes. 12.3, approval, resolution for the Shelby County Board of Education assignment of general fund balance 2425. $8,504,135.30.
Motion to approve.
I'm waiting on Miss Clark is coming. She's taking notes.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Woods.
Aye.
Commissioner Love.
Present, not voting.
Commissioner Coleman. Commissioner Calvo.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative and 1 present not voting.
Thank you. That motion passes. 12.4, thank you, Mr. Woods. Approval extension of pay to displaced employees.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read this one again briefly. Resolution to extend pay for displaced employees, whereas the Shelby County Board of Education faced a budget gap of over $60 million, whereas the Shelby County Board of Education district approved a reduction in force of over 1,100 positions, whereas of the 1,100 impacted employees, 167 are not currently working with the district, whereas the Shelby County Board of Education shall issue a formal notice of separation for former employees on or about August 31st. Now therefore be it further resolved that the Board of Education approves the extension of payroll benefits through August 31st, 2024 for the 167 impacted employees.
Commissioner Woods, in your third paragraph, whereas of the 1,100 impacted employees, it should say positions.
Instead of
I'll accept that friendly amendment.
Okay.
From the 1,100, change the word employees to position.
Thank you.
Motion and a second. Thank you.
And just for clarity for listening audience, I get to say that at least once. This simply extends the payroll benefits for those impacted employees. So for those who were thinking that their last payday was August 17th, they will see an additional payday by this body on August 31st, I'm assuming. And it also allows the administration to issue the letters as well. Mr. Bailey, you got any questions? You're looking perplexed. Go ahead and clear it up now before we vote.
Thank you, Board Member Woods. I'm just looking at the proposed amendment to the wording, whereas of the 1,100 impacted employees.
You
It's
missed
positions.
Yes.
Right, but then it says 167 are not currently working for the district. I don't think you can have positions not currently working for the district. Does that make sense? I think the language is inconsistent.
Yeah, I was fine with impacted employees. You know what? I'll clean it up for you. I got you. Stay with me, okay?
All right.
It's my last one. Whereas of the 1,100 impacted positions, and whereas 167 employees are currently not working for the district.
I'm sorry.
General Counsel.
Run that last part by me one more time.
All right, wake
The
up
second
now. I
part
know
of
it's
the
late.
sentence. I'm following.
So
I'm following.
1,100 positions, 167 employees, impacted employees.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
so that's the change.
Yep.
You guys got it over there? Thank you, appreciate it. So without any objections, that will be the language read into record. And Madam Chair, give it back to you.
All right. Motion by Mr. Woods. He's leading on this effort, and second by Chair Green. Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. 12.6, MOU for Literacy Mid-South. Superintendent.
It's the recommendation that the Shelby County Board of Education approves the Memorandum of Understanding for Literacy Mid-South. This is to provide early grades literacy support for students in grades K through 3. These students will receive tutoring in small group setting. This support also extends to recruiting families, training tutors, and ensuring students have materials as needed. This program is funded by the Tennessee Department of Education via Literacy Mid-South, and these students will receive in-person small group literacy tutoring.
Motion to approve.
Second. Third, fourth, I think we all on that one. All right, roll call vote, Ms. Clark.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. 12.7, more from Memphis Resolution Strategic Plan. Commissioner McKissick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this resolution is one that More for Memphis, an organization that has been before this body several times over the last 2.5, 3 years now, talking about how to realign our resources at both the county level, the city level, and with the school board. And so what they have reached out to us to be one of the first, but they've worked with all of the county commissioners and the city council members as well to read this exact same resolution into the record, saying that they are wanting to work with us. There's no money being put forth, asked for at this time. Just saying this is a strategic plan that they want to continue to work with. I've been a part of this organization in terms of volunteering to hear their strategic plan over the last 3 years as they've culminated to this point. So it's rather lengthy, and our parliamentarian says I can read the beginning and move to the bottom portion where we have the therefores. So skip through a lot of the whereas, but it's all a part of public record, and you can find it in the board docs notes. So this is a joint resolution adopting the More for Memphis strategic plan as a guide for public-private cooperation and investments to improve economic mobility for children and families in Memphis and Shelby County. Whereas Memphis has a poverty rate of 24.2% and Shelby County has a poverty rate of 18.6%, making it one of the poorest metropolitan statistical areas in the country. And whereas the child poverty rate in Memphis is 37.9%, while the rate in Shelby County is 28%. And moving forward to whereas the More for Memphis project management team has sought to align its strategies and approaches developed or under development by the City of Memphis, Shelby County government, Memphis-Shelby County schools, and other public, private, and nonprofit leaders. And whereas the City of Memphis, Shelby County government, Mscs, public, private, and nonprofit leaders possess funding capacity that aligns with the efforts to address poverty, economic mobility, and violent crime. And whereas the More for Memphis project managers have secured $20 million per year over the next 5 years in private funding to enact the initial phase of this strategic plan. Therefore, be it resolved that it is officially the policy of the Memphis-Shelby County School Board that the More for Memphis strategic plan will be an essential guiding document for strategic investments throughout the next 5 years. Be it further resolved that the Memphis-Shelby County schools will work to align future investments and strategies with More for Memphis under a cooperative framework. Be it further resolved that the Memphis-Shelby County School Board commits to considering a joint ordinance to follow, which will, in consultation and collaboration with the Shelby County Commission, Memphis City Council, Memphis-Shelby County School Board, detail the operation of the public-private partnership, which will implement the More for Memphis strategic plan. Signed on this day, the board chair, and sponsored by myself, Michelle McKissick.
Can we add our names to that?
Yes, we can add on.
Yes, so, all right, thank you. So, motion on the floor.
All right. Motion by Frank Johnson. Thank you. Second by Commissioner Woods. Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
I want to acknowledge I have a working relationship with Seeding Success, who has created the More for Memphis plan, so I'm going to recuse myself as present, not voting.
Commissioner Woods.
Aye.
Commissioner Love.
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman. Commissioner Calvo.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative and 1 recuser.
All right, thank you. That motion passes. And now, last one is 12.8. Resolution to expand student and family support.
Yes, thank you, Chair Green. We're putting up I had an amended version I think they're going to put. Are you putting on the? I don't see it up there. I can read from my edited version. This resolution, there are a number of needs outside of, that are both academic and non-academic. We've mentioned some over the evening, from ACT prep, mentoring, really wraparound services and what we consider case management for our students. And I think it is the will of the board that we see what is available in our community. So I will read a resolution to expand student and family supports. Whereas Memphis-Shelby County Schools is committed to the academic success and overall well-being of all students within the district. Whereas many students in the district would benefit from enhanced access to ACT preparation services, mentoring, and wraparound services that address academic and non-academic barriers to success. Whereas it is recognized that working with multiple partners can provide diverse, high-quality services that meet the varying needs of our students, ensuring equitable access to resources across the district. Whereas wraparound services, including tutoring, mental health support, college and career counseling, and family engagement initiatives, are critical components of student success, particularly those facing socioeconomic challenges. Now therefore be it resolved that the Memphis-Shelby County Schools Board of Education directs the superintendent and relevant district departments to 1, identify and vet multiple partners, undertake a comprehensive review process to identify multiple partners capable of providing ACT preparation services, mentoring programs, truancy reduction, and wraparound support to students and families across the district. 2, ensure equity and access, ensure that selected partners can provide services equitably across eligible schools in the district, particularly focusing on schools with high populations of students and families in need. 3, monitor and evaluate, establish a system for monitoring the effectiveness of these partnerships, including regular evaluations of student academic and non-academic outcomes, service quality, and partner performance. Partners and MSCS will work collaboratively to ensure continuous improvement. 4, report to the board. Provide regular reports to the Board of Education on the progress of these initiatives, including the identification of vendors, the scope of services provided, and the impact on student achievement and well-being. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption to implement a request for services in the current academic year. This resolution underscores the board's commitment to ensuring that every student has the tools, support, and opportunities needed to succeed. On this day, I think we have sponsored by Board Member Woods, Love, and myself. If anybody else would like, Calvo? Johnson, I think. Everybody's in. All right, I think we're ready.
Yeah, I do have a question. In terms of it being a resolution, I would like some clarity about the goal of the resolution as this exists, that this is our current process, and we've committed to providing impact reports quarterly as well. I also want to underscore, and certainly we had conversations with many of our principals who asked very valid questions. How do we know what's working when we're doing so many things, and how do we effectively monitor everything? And more importantly, how do we know that this very thing contributed to the results that we're achieving? And so I do want to heighten the attention to the expectation for number 4, that we're going to miss it in some areas this year, as I expressed to our principals and staff today. We'll hit it in a few areas because we don't know, with more than 300 contracts that have metrics and measures, we don't know who's contributing to the ACT increase or the flatlining of the same. We do not know who's contributing to truancy and the increase or the decrease thereof, right? Like, we do not know. The only thing we do know is exactly what's happening and assigned to and attached to the teachers in the classroom. And so that would be my only clarity sought here, and then just leveling, if you will, respectfully the expectations in terms of how we effectively monitor and evaluate everything that we're doing. As one principal said, it looks like we're just throwing a lot against the wall and hoping that something will stick.
I would like to speak to that first, Madam Superintendent. And first, I agree 100% with the fact that we don't measure enough of the investments that we're currently doing. I have often, I think Dr. Whitelaw will attest to the fact that when we're making new investments, I often wonder what researchers walking alongside us to be able to validate whether or not that's working. And then, are we keeping anything the same? If you're putting 6 new tools into the toolkit, how do we know which one unlocked the box, right? And so we don't disagree with you. So to be clear, this resolution doesn't ask for any more work than you were already planning to do. What we wanted to do is articulate as a body. You heard Ms. McKissick, my colleague, Board Member McKissick, speak of a particular partner that she's enjoyed working with and believe in their work. We have been given guidance that these things have to go out for competitive bid, right? So I have prided myself on not promoting any particular vendor, but we have some great partners, right? And that we want everyone to hear this message, that we welcome the opportunity for you to partner with the district. And so the ask of this body is simple, that an RFP go out to provide these type of services that you've already indicated that you plan to do anyway, which is one being the ACT and mentoring program. So again, no additional work there. And when we talk about monitoring and outcomes, Madam Superintendent, we're only specifically speaking to what you've demanded. If you're going to partner with the district, you got to produce outcomes. But in order to know if those outcomes were legit, somebody has to measure them. So we're simply saying as a body, the investments that we make here, we have to measure those outcomes, right? So we're not saying for the entire litany of partners, but specifically for any procured service for these particular or potential partners must be measured prior to us supporting any additional dollars for these partners. Does that help?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Madam Superintendent.
Commissioner Williams and Love.
You never know where the help is coming from when you pay so many people to do it. If the teacher is responsible for improving instruction in the classroom, and the principal, and those who are in the building, when you go outside bringing folks in claiming they have this victorious scheme or Ponzi, whatever they have, you can't measure it. So we do measure the impact that teachers have on children, that parents have. But we cannot measure the impact that some fly-by-night organization has on children. We don't know what that impact is. We don't know who did it because everybody had a hand in it. So, but we do know who got paid. And I think that we need to realize and understand that we are the academic institution in this city, and we set the standard, and we should take ownership of what these children know, what they are taught, and what they learn, not an outside source that we cannot measure and we cannot hold them accountable, because we are, after all, we are accountable for what goes on in this school system.
Amen. Ms. Love?
I signed on to the resolution because I want to see more kids get what they deserve. And everyone should be held to a certain standard. The mom and pop shops and the big businesses. Everyone should be held to the same service. And Lori introduced that a few months ago, that they are working on a vendors list for everyone to be held to the same standards. And I want to see my school has 3 vendors doing the same exact work. And we don't know what is effective or not. They should each have individualized students, and they can report on their data solely by the kids in which they serve.
Yes, you're next.
I want to acknowledge and echo what Board Member Woods said about this not reinventing what we're already planning, and you and I have had multiple conversations about measuring the effectiveness of what we invest in, and we're completely aligned. I do want to push back on some of the comments of that you can't measure social services or other supports in schools. There's a lot of research that intensive case management and if you do a baseline assessment of somebody's economic position, that you can actually measure that, particularly if you're thinking about direct, food supports or enrollment into entitlement programs that our families are eligible for. It's sometimes these partnerships, we do want to put this out to our community who may have people who have associated, they're hiring staffing teams or asking for money, but many of our organizations are working to connect our students and families to resources that already exist, and it is just about creating an efficient network. So I think, yes, we are asking for this to be put out because these services and supports for students are important, and it is also just about having an operating partnership with people who are already serving the community and can plug into where kids and families are at, and that is in schools, because we can't do it alone. So yes, some of this will be hard to measure, but we're going to work hard to do our best, and some of this may be baseline.
I guess my final response to that, Chair, is how do you hold someone accountable who is not accountable? who does not have to have credentials that we certify, who is not certified by the state, perhaps, of Tennessee or anyone else to do what they're doing. Where is the accountability? Teachers are accountable. If those students who you put in these programs do well, the teachers get the credit. If they fail, teachers are going to be punished. Because it is not going to be, we cannot answer for someone who does not have the employment of this system, who does not qualify by state standards to do what they're doing. But I can lose my license if I miseducate a child. They can't. So there's an accountability factor that has to be played somewhere from those who are delivering the instruction. And that's going to be Shelby County Schools at the end of the day, not a corporation or not a fly-by-night organization or someone who comes up and claims that they have all these expertise, but they have no credentials to certify that.
I think we agree on accountability.
Calvo?
Yeah, I would just say it takes a village to raise a child. All I think we're saying is, as a board, we wanna welcome partners, outside partners, to help us do this work, because this is too big, even for us to do it. So, and there's so many organizations out there that are willing to do this work with us. Some of them want to get paid, others don't. I think what we're saying here is a directive to the administration to say we want to continue to be an organization that recognizes and welcomes so many others to help us raise these kids.
Just to echo my colleagues, I agree with what everyone is saying, but I just think it needs to be made very clear that this body, this superintendent, has the final say, on the partnerships and who we partner with, if we partner with anyone. I think that's really important because, to Board Member Williams' point, it is the teachers in the classroom who have the greatest responsibility, and quite honestly, the superintendent, and then the school board, but the educators, because they genuinely want to see children educated. And then they have that responsibility and accountability to the state. So it's, to make that clear that the final word has to be with this body and with the superintendent.
I just want to respond to my colleague, Ms. McKissick, which is spot on. It's why I signed on to this, where the language was simply agnostic on any partner that come before this body. No sacred cows. Madam Superintendent, you asked us to pass a budget that called for a radical decrease in the number of at least paid partners that we have as a district, and in order to be able to address the deferred maintenance issues, right? So in order to do so, we know that we can't say yes to everybody. But that being said, we can ask that we open the doors to see who's out there who wants to partner with the district, and then for you to be able to decide which organizations you bring back before this body to consider. Is that clear?
I understand the language. I think that when it comes down to it, we're all going to, as Board Member Williams said, be held responsible for it. And so this will show up in my evaluation. It will show up in the evaluation of my team. It will show up in the evaluation of the teachers. And so what I'm sharing is we have a lot of things that we're doing. And when we invite people in, it is not about a lack of partnerships. What I've shared with partners is about strategic partnerships. It's about a coalition of people who understand what we need right now, where we need what we need, and what we need it to service and serve. This requires our staff to do more, because we do have to define the individual students that this will serve in the respective schools, and it does require keeping up with individual students. Somebody has to do that work, and we don't have the staff to take on additional loads. That's why we allowed many of these contracts to expire, because we did not have the data. And so we committed to the impact report so that you can continue to see the same for those contracts that still exist. But sharing that we need someone to come in, utilize the same ACT workbook that we're using, the same iReady platform that we're using to provide the service and pay them when we can pay our teachers. I think that's my only comment that I'll share in terms of the balance here. But doing this work and continuing to put out RFPs, solicit services where we need them, is certainly not the challenge.
Yeah, so again, that's why the resolutions before us, if there's any language that you feel that creates a hindrance for you and your team, we have the opportunity to strike that language. To be clear, the overarching objective is to state out loud what you and your team have told us, which is that you plan to go out to competitive bid for particularly the ACT readiness, AT preparation services. Now, if that is something that we want to pull back on and don't plan to do that, let us know. But my objective was to simply state very loud and clear that that's the objective of this administration. So if it's counter to that, here's an opportunity to state the obvious.
Motion, second, and vote.
So I guess we're moving forward. Thank you.
Motion, thank you, Commissioner Frank Johnson. This is second, Ms. McKissick, Commissioner McKissick. Is her light on for a second?
I'll second.
All right. Thank you.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. No. Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative and 1 no.
Thank you. The motion passes. Our last one, almost 12.9, a resolution, an amendment for policy 0016. Vice Chair Coleman.
Thank you, Chair Green. This is the orientation for school board candidates, and it was issued in 2010, and we just want to suspend this policy so we can bring it up and have a full discussion about it. It's just talking about how the orientation will go for new school board members. I'm not going to read all of it, but I just want to suspend this policy and bring it back up at our September business meeting so we can talk about it and correct the things that need to be corrected or look at it.
How long do you want it suspended for?
Until October.
Okay, suspended to October meeting.
October business meeting.
I think the policy specifically says our board training has to happen before the swearing in, and we've scheduled it to accommodate all schedules to happen the week after swearing in, so we want to make sure we suspend it.
We will go into it in our next business meeting. Thank you.
Board Member Love. You motion? Second the motion, Board Member Love.
Coleman makes a motion.
Coleman motion, Love second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Board Chair Green.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. Our last one tonight is 13.1, a resolution approving the Mscs board member strategic school fund allocations for August 2024, $222,500.
Chair Green, I want to add to give Brownsville Road $1,500 out of my allocations.
Board members, just as we continue to be transparent about budget amendments and shifts, do want to make sure that everyone understands that strategic allocations for board members comes out of our budget. There was a question from where it comes from. This is our budget, and that's where the funds are seated.
Okay. So we just added 1,500. I think our new total 223,500. Motion and a second. Motion, Commissioner Love. Second, Commissioner Woods. Roll call vote.
Last vote.
Last vote. Last dance.
I do want to I know my District 4 board member is listening. I promise you I saved you some money for your, for the rest of your year, but we had a number of schools that wanted us to support them in the month of July and August, so happy to do so. So I told him to thank you as well, Mr. Porter.
All right. Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Woods,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Calvo,
For the last time, aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
For the last time, aye.
Commissioner Williams, Board Chair Green.
Freedom. Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
All right, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, colleagues, once again, and look forward to seeing you soon and very soon. Everybody have a good evening.